But wait, who is that fourth little portrait? Who is that stunning head with the amazing green headset? That is, my friends, is Gooby. Say hello, Gooby. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Some of the chat might not know who you are, so maybe you wanted to tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce us to you.
Yeah, my in-game name is Goobysenchou. I've gotten Legend like the past 6 seasons or so. Top 50 last season. I played in ESO a few times, and got to the Legendary Series twice out of the 8 weeks last season. And I've been writing Capital Storm articles for about a month now, and that's about it right now.
Cool.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. What a week it has been, guys. We've had some juicy Hearthstone drama. Thanks to Twitch and some various tournaments. We'll get into that later, but I think maybe what we'll start talking about is the fourth wing of Blackrock Mountain that came out just this week.
Oh, baby.
How do we go with the bosses? Fun?
They were really fun. I really liked them, but Nefarian, the final boss, actually gave me trouble the first time I did it. So that was the only one I had to do. Like, I think I did it like 3 times. But yeah, they were fun. I thought they were really fun.
Anyone else want to weigh in here? Last week we were not... Well, I certainly wasn't a big fan of the PvE. I thought it was pretty boring, to be honest. But this week it's getting some good shout-outs. Seems to be a bit better designed as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, the Nefarian transformation animation was the most beautiful thing Hearthstone's ever seen.
Cool. I really like the idea of debuff cards that was used in one of the bosses.
Yeah, that was cool.
Putting cards in your opponent's hand that make, they have negative effects for them, and they have to sort of play them, use their mana to get rid of them. I think there's that is going to become something that we'll see in the future.
Yep.
I think that would be really cool. Blizzard has stated that they don't want to do anything to mess with the opponent's resources, taking cards out of their hands, sort of those style effects you see in some other card games. So that might prevent that for a little while. But I think it's definitely they said they don't want to destroy opponents' mana crystals, things of that nature, because they want it to be a fun and casual game, and they don't want to let you mess with your opponent's resources. But I definitely think it is a design space they could explore in the future.
Well, that's kind of getting around destroying a crystal, because they can keep the card in hand or they can play it, and it's having that sort of negative effect. But yeah, not having that anti-fun of destroy a land, really.
Yeah.
That's a shame, though. I really want to see Thoughtseize or something similar come into Hearthstone.
I think eventually, just based on how the card or how the game's going to develop, they'll have to abandon some of their principles, and something like debuff cards I could see might be added. There's room for it in the game. It's already implemented in the game itself. So maybe, I don't know.
Okay. So we got a whole bunch of new cards out of the wing. Let's go through them one by one, talk about what we think of them and how they're playing so far. So the first one is Revenge, which is a warrior card. It is 2 mana. Deal 1 damage to all minions. If you have 12 or less health, deal 3 damage instead.
Basically, I haven't seen this card played. I haven't played this card and haven't seen it played against me, so I'm not totally sure how it is in the game. Didn't even have any of the AI bosses play against or use it against me, and I think one of them had it. But I don't see this card really being that good. It doesn't fit into any archetype right now. It kills your patron, so that sucks. It can't really, or if you're low, it does.
Yeah, to me this card says 1 extra mana whirlwind, or if you have 12 or less health, kill all the combo pieces that you were trying to set up anyway.
Yeah, I'm not exactly a warrior expert though, so I don't really think that my analysis is worth a lot.
I think this card will actually be techable in Control Warrior. When everyone first initially did the reviews and stuff, basically the meta was in a different spot. We didn't really have Zoo or Grim Patron Warrior running around at the time, and now that they are, I think this card is actually playable at the moment. Plus Paladin sees some play. It's okay against Hunter. Whirlwind will usually just kill all the minions anyway. Usually I'm not afraid to float mana with... Well, usually when you play Whirlwind, it's easy to float mana as well. It still costs 2 mana, so you can use it with Grom on turn 10. You can't use it on turn 9 with Grom, which is sometimes a hindrance, but usually not.
Definitely agree with Gooby. In addition, if you have an acolyte out, you can cycle this, which isn't the best use of your resources. But a lot of the times, this will like one damage AOE is never really going to be a dead effect. Even like if you play a lot of Patron Warrior, even if you have just an unstable goal, you can usually at least do something with it. So it's never going to be a completely dead card, and it can be really cool if you get to that point.
Yeah, sure. Flame Waker, which is the new mage card.
Oh man,
I love this card. It is 3 mana for a 2/4. After you cast a spell, deal 2 damage randomly split among all enemies.
I think a lot of people were clamoring for this card because they know it's going to be good, and things like Temple
More
Mage,
RNG.
I'm
More
sure.
RNG.
Yeah, the RNG makes it even better. But it's like it has a place for it. It feels like it almost feels like Blizzard designed this card with the idea of like this. It can fit into an existing mage archetype, whereas sometimes I feel like some of these cards are meant to be designed around as opposed to just be put into a deck. So I've had it played against me, and it's really really good. I mean, like, free damage is just good, and that card basically gives you free damage.
I think the card is super sweet. I've had a couple of OTKs with it. It is like in Tempo Mage, I think might be the best home for it. If you're playing a really dedicated deck to it, like I've been doing, you sometimes don't draw it, and then you have a bunch of spells, or you draw it without drawing spells. So just with the nature of it being 3 mana and needing spells instead of Night Juggler, which needs creatures, it can be a little bit inconsistent. But I definitely think the card is a powerhouse. And it basically has taunt when your opponent plays it. They're always going to want to kill it, just like they always want to kill Night Juggler. So it's a very high power level 3-drop.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's great in Tempo Mage and Flood Mage. Other than that, I wouldn't use it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'll be its strength. It'll fit into those archetypes really quickly, and those are always the cards that do the best straight out of the gate. So expect to see this card in the next couple of days, I think. Next card is Hungry Dragon, which is a neutral, 4 mana for a 5/6 battle cry. Summon a 1-cost minion for your opponent.
There's been so many different things to say about this card, and I think personally I've had it played against me, and yes, the 1-drop is nice, and it does add a huge amount of like RNG into the game, but for the most part, like I've never had the 1-drop be like, oh wow, this is an amazing 1-drop that I just got. Albeit I've only played against this card like 6 times, but a 5/6 body is really hard to remove, and the 1-drop helps, but I think the fact that it's even 5 attack makes it really really, like, the 5 attack is so important right now with these 5/5s everywhere that I think right now it's pretty alright, but I don't know.
I got the Dust Devil's Dream on stream today. It was pretty sick, but in general, the card's been really annoying to play against. Obviously, a 5/6 is going to be good. If you're seeing a lot of Fast Druid or Combo Druid, I think the card is actually pretty actively bad, just because they can Savage Roar, and just Druid having minions on the board is really powerful. Zoo as well, so I think against those decks it's not fantastic, but against a lot of the other decks, more controlling decks or more mid-range grindy decks, if you already have board control, I think the card is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this card, I would disagree that there's a lot of RNG, because there's definitely some RNG, but there are not too many. It's not like a Shredder where it'll drop like a Doomsayer and kill off all your board.
Yeah, very true.
There are fewer options. I think the worst thing you can get is probably usually Dust Devil. There are 2 3-attack 1-cost minions, and then the rest are 2 or 1. So you can fairly predictably work out what it's going to come up against your opponent. I like this card because I am one of the many people trying to make Dragon Paladin work at the moment, and I was playing Twilight Drakes, which were okay just for the 4-slot dragon, and I think you need a 4-slot dragon because it's with the way that it's working with holding a dragon in your hand to gain all these buffs. You want to keep a dragon in your opening hand usually, and so this will fit that role, I think.
Oh, absolutely. It's a pretty. I think it's a pretty integral card when it comes to things like dragon decks. So, I think we'll see it absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think
welcome to all the reynad viewers that are incoming. Hope you guys enjoy.
Hey guys.
Greetings.
Hey guys. Right. So next card, Fireguard Destroyer, Shaman card, 4 mana, 3/6. Battle Cry, gain 1 to 4 attack. Overload 1.
Oof. Gooby, let's start with you. You're the Shaman guy.
Yeah,
us,
so I
teach us
played
your wisdom.
Shaman yesterday. I think 7 games with it overall. I went 5-2. Basically, I just played a low curve deck with Fire Guard Destroyers. I can actually probably screenshot and post in chat.
Mhm.
But it went really well. Basically, I just went for a low curve with stuff like Nerubian Egg. It made it really minion based and like almost no spells and stuff. It worked out really
Right.
well. I really like it. It gives you a really strong turn 4 play, especially if you already have board control from like little minions and stuff like that. So I've really been liking it so far.
Yeah. Based on the very little I know about Shaman, when I look at the cards, I'm like, it's just missing like a incredibly stable, in all situations, good card, and I think that this definitely fits that way. I don't know if it's what Shaman needs to be like really, really good, because I just don't know enough about Shaman, but it definitely seems like a strong addition to their already pretty good card set.
I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but one thing about Hungry Dragon is it does make Shaman a little better because it's one of the classes that can make use out of smaller minions better than any other class. So it's one perk, I guess, but still, Hungry Dragon's still tough to handle. It's only good like if they don't have Flame Tongue, or if you have Flame Tongue, then it's only good then. Other than that, it's not very good.
All right.
Right. Yeah, I don't play much Shaman either. I like this card though. I think it's cool. 1-4 attack seems really strong. Like getting a 7/6 for 4 is usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if it makes them use up their BGH. So yeah, I think it'll be great if you and you know board control is so important in Shaman. So.
Yep.
Alrighty, Demon Wrath Warlock. 3 mana, deal 2 damage to all non-demon minions.
I think this card is good. I don't think it's amazing, but like the class, class challenges always they have a way of altering my thinking, because they basically Blizzard sets up a like best case scenario to show off this card, and in that class challenge, which is the only place, Cam, I know it's funny, in this class challenge, which is the only time I've seen it played against me or used it, it was good. I'm like, look, I deal all this damage and my demons didn't take any damage. But obviously, it only works in like a heavy demon theme. I don't think, other than that, it's even very good, because damaging your own stuff is always so bad. And why not play something like Hellfire? If you're gonna damage your own stuff.
Sorry, too bad I wasn't prepared for Twitch chat. Sorry, I kind of agree with you, but I've been liking
Too busy watching Life Coach Nades.
Splitting in Demon Lock, Hellfire, 1 Hellfire, 1 Shadow Flame, 1 Demon Wrath. I think since you're tapping a lot, it gives you the best variety of options to deal with things. You have Shadow Flame to like PO and deal with really big stuff, like against Handlock. You have Demon Fire against the more aggressive decks, and you have Hellfire for the extra burst as well as the versatility as a board wipe. So I like splitting them up. I think Demon Wrath is really good against a lot of different decks, and it also pops your own eggs and things like that. So I think the card is very good, and I think it deserves at least a 1 of in some variations of Demon Lock.
What about like with the prevalence of Zoo out there at the moment? Is this like, do you want AoE that's dealing damage to non-demon minions?
Well, it's killing Juggler, it's killing Direwolf, it's killing Abusive Sergeant, right? It does kill their eggs, but they can activate their eggs anyway, so it's something you'll have to get over with at some point. And it also depends on how demon-y their Zoo is. Some people aren't playing the Bane of Dooms, some people are playing like Dark Iron Dwarves, so it's good against those as well. So like I'd say at least 50% of the time against Zoo, it'll still be actively better than like not having AoE.
There's not a ton to say. I mean, it's so early that I think we'd have to wait to see if these value scenarios even end up popping out.
I think it's okay.
Alrighty.
Having a lot of demons to play it. Other than that, yeah.
Dark Iron Skulker, which is the rogue card, 5 mana for a 4/3 battle cry. Deal 2 damage to all non-damaged minions.
Yeah, I think this card's a powerhouse. It's really good.
Yep.
I
think this card's good.
I haven't seen it played against me, and I'm like, and been like, oh, this is really good. Albeit I've only been playing Face Hunter, so it doesn't really matter to me that my guys die. But it looks on paper it's amazing, and I can think of scenarios when I'm playing Rogue, and I'm like, if I had this card, it'd be insane to play right now. But those are like best case scenario situations. I think it's good. I think it's really, really good. And the fact that you don't have to combo or anything, you can just straight up play it, is super nice.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I think the card's been really great. One of a little bit awkward interactions is if they have a mad scientist and things like Mech Mage or Tempo Mage, it gets a mirror entity and then makes them a 4/3. And with Rogue, you could potentially give them something a little bit smaller. So you don't always want to give them a 4/3, especially when you're clearing the board like that. But other than that, like that's just a little awkward interaction. I think the card is really good. It helps clean up a lot of stuff while putting minions on the board. Like reynad was playing a much more board-oriented Rogue deck with like Hungry Dragons and then just clearing all their stuff. And I think that Rogue deck's really good. And it sort of pushes Rogue more into mid-range than the really focused oil combo. And I think that deck is super sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to wait on this one. As I was saying before, like I think cards that immediately fit into an existing archetype or deck do really well straight out of the gate, and this one requires a little bit more building around. So I'm really interested to see, but I think it's got a lot of potential. It can definitely enable something that wasn't there before for Rogue anyway. Move more out of the sort of combo range into this board control version.
Yep.
Alrighty, the biggie. The Dragon, Chromaaggus, 8 mana for a 6/8. Whenever you draw a card, put another copy into your hand.
I've had this card played.
And I'll just quickly point out, it puts another copy of the card you drew into your hand, not a copy of the dragon.
That's right. There was some confusion in that when it was first announced. It's the only time I've had this card played against me twice, and both times it has been Dragon Consort turn 5, turn 6 Chromaaggus, and it's been really strong. Well, that's because it's turn 6 Chromaaggus, and that doesn't happen all the time. But I think it's good. Like, it's a card that draws you more cards, and then it's a decent body. The fact that it dodges BGH is actually really, really good, because you no longer have an easy answer to a relatively big threat. But, however, as far as if it's going to be played in, like, tons of decks, I don't think so. I think even in Dragon Paladin, again, it's so early to tell, but like the only times I've had it played against me is when it's super, super strong.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the scrubs who's keen for Dragon Paladin to be a thing, and I think the 8-slot Dragon is actually going to be useful. At the moment, I'm playing Alexstrasza and Ysera, and I think one of those needs to be an 8-drop. So I'm definitely going to give this a shot. I'm playing it more as a controlling build as well, just because the big dragons are awesome, massive threats on their own, so you're really happy to play one a turn. And I think this fits into a control deck, because having more cards is one of the resources that you usually you have that advantage usually as a control deck.
I'm going to jump in on that. I think this card is definitely playable or good in Dragon Paladin. I think it's also fine in really heavy Ramp Druid with like Ancient of Wars. I think it is a little bit awkward in some control decks like Control Warrior. You'd rather have Ysera, because a lot of the time this is the beginning of your turn. So it's going to die a decent percentage of the time before you get to draw the cards. It's also really bad against when your opponent has a board, so you have to have a clear board to play the 8-drop. Additionally, some of the time the effect isn't going to be as good, or you won't be able to use it as well because you played a 6/8 and then they could develop their board. Like the one time I got to successfully play this in Control Warrior without it dying, I drew double Alex, which was super redundant, and then my opponent stole with Sylvanas and got to double draw Savage Roar. But like I just feel like in control decks without ramp, this card is a little bit too slow.
Yeah, I agree. Gooby, your thoughts?
Yeah, it seems like Ysera, but a lot worse. You might be able to use your hero power on the same turn, and that's about it. Yeah. Plus, you'll draw like a random card instead of Ysera. Whereas with Ysera, you'll get like there's 5 different cards you can get, and they're all pretty good. So
yeah, right.
Just like a lot worse than Ysera.
Yeah, but like if you're playing a control deck and presumably it's the late game because you're playing Chromaaggus, then surely most of the cards that you draw you're going to want, unless you're coming up with another zombie chow or something. I take your point, like you definitely always want the Ysera card pretty much, but that's almost more RNG than like the cards that you've actually put in your deck.
Okay, but in the late game, if you're sticking an 8-drop to have it stay on board so you can win, I don't think it really matters what the 8-drop is, right? Like, it could be KT and it's a 6/8, and if they can't remove it, then you have a 6/8 and you're hitting them and you're probably winning anyway. Yeah. Like, the double draw isn't going to matter a ton. Like, it's a very small scenario in which you already have board control and it won't die, and you need to outcard advantage them despite already having board control and a huge dude on the board.
It's a win harder card, it kind of seems like.
Yeah. Well, it's like Kel'Thuzad in that respect, I would say.
I'd agree.
Yeah, cool. So are we seeing any of these new cards being played on the ladder? Like, how is it going for us? What have we? I saw you hit legend this week, Camp. So congrats.
Yes.
Thanks. I actually hit top 20, and then we nose dove to like the thousands, then climbed back a little bit. But I was mostly playing like hybrid Demon Lock Zoo. It's mostly Zoo, but I'm playing, the Void Caller Mal'Ganis package. I'm also playing double Bane of Doom, double Implosion, double Mortal Coil. Really focused on like the spells that give you damage and board control. That deck went really well. I don't think I'd change it a ton, just with the cards that came out. But I was experimenting with like Flamewaker and a lot of different things. So that's probably why we went down a little. But I think ladder's in a good place right now, and there's a lot of diversity. So maybe the next thing will shake that up. But I really like where ladder's at right now.
Yeah. There's lots of fun stuff. I don't mind getting OTK'd by Flamewaker because that doesn't happen so often. And even though I lost, it's like, oh, I lost in a pretty spectacular way. So that's fine.
Yeah, ladder's been
You might
pretty
change your mind
diverse.
after about 4 weeks of that.
Yeah, that is true.
I haven't seen too many of the new cards though, so far.
No, me neither. I think I've been seeing a lot of shit Dragon Paladin decks, basically.
Yep.
I was playing it myself, and it's an interesting deck because, yeah, you basically you're just playing massive minions that don't have taunt, so you need, like, it's very sort of proactive, and if you're playing anyone that has, that's super aggro, then you really struggle. I ended up playing, it was like double Earthen Ring Farseer, double Healbot, Lay on Hands. Like, I was just playing insane amounts of heal, because you end up not being able to play Sludge Belcher because your 5-drop slot is just way too crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just
With
cut
dragons.
the heal bots for Sludge Belchers?
Well, yeah, I could do that as well. But I just needed the heals just to get to the late game. I actually found them better. His Face Hunter is a thing.
Yeah, I took advantage of it. I got to everyone trying out this Dragon Paladin. They don't have taunts. They usually don't have a ton of heals. So Face Hunter destroys them. Face Hunter also beats things like Rogue, which I've been seeing a lot of actually, which is weird because Oil Rogue has been really, really good, but I just haven't been seeing like any of it. And then mid-range.
It's because it's such a good deck, but not many people could play it.
Yeah, that is true. I've tried sometimes, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm so insecure the entire time I'm playing Oil Rogue. I don't know if what I just did was good half the time. But yeah, just scumming it up on the ladder. I'm on the cusp of Legend. I haven't been playing that a lot this season, but I'm close, and then I will get back there, right at the finish line.
Cusp. Rank 10 is not the cusp, my friend.
Oh
No, I'm
God.
just kidding. Gooby, what about you? How are things going?
Pretty good. Been sitting around like 1 to 200 all week for Legend. I haven't played too much.
Sweet.
That's good.
What are you playing?
I played some of Colento's Priest, Handlock, and Shaman for the most part.
Okay. Is that what's the meta like up there?
It's pretty much the same you'll see anywhere, I think. Lots of aggro, very few control decks, some Patron Warrior. I think it's about the same as anywhere else on the ladder, at least I'd imagine.
Yeah, cool. Just quietly, Camsh, I saw this week you got wrecked by Sacrificial Pact.
Probably your fault for advertising it last time. Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't even a cool blowout, right? I wasn't even playing Zoo or Demon Lock. I was playing like Druid, and I had combo for lethal, and he just Sacrificial Pacted one of his imps, and then I lost to damage on board. So yeah, I still think the card's bad.
Oh.
That is the cool way to lose to Sacrificial Pact. I don't know. You obviously don't know the card that well.
Step up your Sacrificial Pact game, please.
Gooby, we thought that since we had you here and you're something of a Shaman expert, we might get a few of your thoughts on how it's doing in the meta, how the class is doing, what you sort of see for the future of Shaman, especially considering that it's it's just got a few new cards in BRM. Yeah, and what your thoughts are in the class.
Before the first week of Blackrock Mountain, I thought I was doing really well, like compared to the last previous few months. Other than that, well, after Patron Warrior and Zoo became a thing, it's only gotten worse and worse. So I think you need to make a lower curve. Like right now, I think it beats a lot of mage decks, other than Freeze Mage. It has a really bad time against Zoo and Patron Warrior, like I said. It does well against a lot of other things, but I think overall it's probably the worst class, just because it gets beat by Priest, Paladin, and those other two decks I mentioned. It does good against Druid and Control Warrior, though. And what else? It's okay against Hunter, and it's okay against Rogue.
Yeah, I played Shaman like 3 weeks ago when it was a lot more control-y, slowy, lots of Druid, and it was really good. But now I think with this new Dragon business, I don't think it's going to be in the limelight anytime soon.
And why is that? Like, what? To me, I don't play a lot of Shaman, and I'm not super familiar with the class. But to me, I always end up like needing a 1 in 4 chance to get a particular totem, or I need to just not get one particular totem, and then I always get the wrong one. Like, is that inherent RNG in the hero power? I think that's definitely a detriment, but is that like what's making it not as powerful?
Yeah, the class is pretty RNG with like some of the spells like Crackle, Lightning Bolt, or Lightning Storm rather. And then the hero power, if you're just really good at the class, you always roll the right totem, so you're covered there. Yeah, but other than that, it's just really bad. Like, you have to get board control early, and then you have to maintain board control for like the rest of the game. Like against Zoo, like
Right.
you just can't do it. They're always gonna outdraw you. They have a lot of death rattle effects. Lightning Storm isn't good against Nerubian eggs, stuff like that. So you're gonna lose to that. Grim Patron Warrior can clear your entire board in 1 turn, and they just get a bunch of minions on the board. And sometimes you just can't kill all of them. So it's just really bad overall for the class right now. Stuff like Druid, you can always keep minions on the board.
I feel like part of the reason, this is just in my experience, part of the reason that the class kind of fell out of favor is because cards like Feral Spirit used to be like really good in vanilla, or maybe I was just bad and I thought they were really good. But now, 3 mana for 2/2/3s with 2 Overload in the next turn seems super weak. Do you think Feral Spirit is at all part of the reason why it's not as dominant as it used to be?
Yeah, stuff like Spider Tank and whatnot, as soon as GVG came out, made the card a lot worse. And then after this expansion, it only gets worse. Like, we're just seeing a lot of cards, power creep other cards.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that card's going to work out anytime soon. Like, it's good against Face Hunter and Hunter in general, but other than that, it's really bad against a lot of other decks.
Do you think taking the Overload down to 1 would make it better?
Yeah, it'd definitely be usable, I think.
Okay.
Or a lot better, at least.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think Overload's just a bad mechanic in general.
Yeah, it feels weirdly restricting, and unless the card's really OP, I'm like, I don't really want to give up 1 mana next turn for this effect that is only marginally better.
It's really hard to build around too. Like, you have to. Shaman requires just because of that mechanic, you have to think every turn ahead and what you're going to be playing next. So you often don't want to be playing an Overload on turn 5, for instance, because you want your Fire Elemental to come down next turn or whatever it is. So it does require that careful planning.
We just need to wait until I think Hearthstone slows down so much, because Hex is so insane as far as removal goes. It can handle like the huge threats very easily, and
Sure.
I think if it slows down a lot, Shaman will be really good. But I don't know a ton about Shaman, so I could be totally wrong.
Gooby, do you think part of the reason the class is weak compared to the others right now is that it can't do anything super unfair? Like, Priest can go off with Blade Master Circle, Handlock can dump Giants. Like, they can all do very unfair things, whereas Shaman is just sort of good cards, but it can't do anything super unfair with their mana.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what you do early game is you just build up totems in a small board. Then mid game, all you really do is just play like an Azure Drake, and then Fire Elemental's pretty good. But then after that, that's kind of where you curve out. Like, Doctor Boom's your next biggest thing. But basically, you have to get board control early, and if you don't, there's just a lot of games you lose. So if you're like small minions just get destroyed, you kind of lose, and there's no way of coming back. It just has really bad comeback mechanics, and it's really like shaky in the early game against a lot of other decks that can flood the board.
Quick question: is
Just-
the answer more Morlocks?
Yeah, definitely more Murlocs. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
That's what I feel like.
Always. I think it has I think it was designed. The card that was designed to give them that unfair thing was Bloodlust, but I just don't think it accomplishes the same. Like, obviously, you can't. You have to have a board to use it, and that's like a massive detriment as opposed to something like.
Sorry.
Sorry. It's just as opposed to something like Force of Nature, Savage Roar, where you can just deal 14 damage out of nowhere.
Yeah, and you can like split it across the board however you want, basically. Where, oh, I forgot what we were talking about now.
We were talking about Bloodlust and the inherent nature of it being worse than other combos.
Yeah, it's really bad overall, I think. Since you can't like summon a lot of things with charge as well, which is something that Druid can do. I
Yep.
think Doomhammer is one of the less fair cards, like one of the unfair cards, but like over the past couple sets, you see a lot less minions with more health, so they're a lot harder to kill. Plus, you kind of like need a Rockfire to make it work too. Yeah, it can give you a lot of burst as well, I guess, but you kind of need a Rockfire, like I said. But yeah, it's a 16 damage card over 4 turns without Rockfire. But there's a lot of bursty decks right now, so taking a lot of face damage isn't good. And yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of cards that are unfair, but situationally unfair, and sometimes they're not even good against a lot of decks.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
They require so much setup to be useful. And usually when you're in the position to be using these cards, you're winning anyway. So they're like win more combo cards. And I don't think, like, they're not useful to come from behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of times where you're just sitting there with like 4 cards in your hand you just can't use.
my main issue is small things like Crackle. Crackle's it's a 2 mana, it's a 3 to 6 damage, and it's Overload 1, right? So you have Lightning Bolt, which is 1 mana, 3 damage, Overload 1. Shouldn't Crackle, since it's still Overload 1 and costs it at 1 more than Lightning Bolt, why should it still even have the option to deal 3 damage?
I just don't use that card because it's way too RNG. I don't think it's good at all, unless you're playing like a lot of spell power and you need to burst. Like if you're playing like an aggressive mech shaman, I would definitely use 2, just get like the last bit of damage in to win the game. But like in mid range, I would never use it. I would rather use something like Power Mace without even running mechs.
Yeah. It just goes to show how strong 3/2 weapons are that people run it without mechs. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad card overall, I think, in mid range.
Okay, well, we thought that since we had you here and we've got the Shaman expert in town, we might do a little thing we like to call Shaman Talk, where basically we're going to split you into 2 teams. We'll put Gooby by himself because he's such a legend. And then I will ask the questions. You guys will buzz in with your answers. In the case of Gooby, the correct answers, and Camshin, too bad, presumably wrong.
The cool answers.
I will keep score on my very official pen and paper. And let's get it underway. Do you want to test your buzzers? What are your team names, guys?
Me and Camsh are Forzen Boys. Gooby. Gooby's Pog Dog.
Oh yeah.
Hog Dog.
It's like a mixture of Pog Champ and Franker Z.
I reckon you can just say your team names.
Okay, cool.
Because that's all right. Let's just kick it off. Each question that you buzz in for, you will gain 1 point if you get it right. You will lose 1 point if you get it wrong, though. So there is scary, right?
Yeah.
First question is who am I? I'm a card that found its.
Oh, we
Go
thought
ahead.
that was the question. Let's continue. Sorry.
I am
You're
a
a
card that
role-player,
found
Jake.
its way to Hearthstone through various other games. I was originally introduced in Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness, and was cast by Shamans in that game. The spell was later carried over to Warcraft 3 Shaman, and has now made its way into Dota 2 through that game's own historic development. I was later introduced to World of Warcraft in the Burning Crusade expansion. In WoW, I grant a temporary haste buff to all party and raid members, increasing the rate at which they can deal damage and cast...
Is it Bloodlust?
It is Bloodlust.
OP.
That is 1 point. Well done. Okay, how many collectible cards have the word totem in them?
Holy crap.
Including the totems themselves.
No, collectible cards. You guys are worse at this than I thought.
Team Pogdog.
Go.
3.
No. I'm gonna give a free shot to Forsen Boys here.
4.
4 is correct.
Oh,
We've got
yeah.
Totemic Might, Flame Tongue Totem, Vitality Totem, and Mana Tide Totem.
No,
yeah,
Mana Tide.
Alright.
I forgot about that one.
This one is a flavor text. Alright. He can never take a bath. Ooh.
Uh, oh wow. Man, flavor text is just my forte, so I should be able to get this, right?
You're a pretty big role player. You can do it.
Yeah. Oh, say one more time.
He can never take a bath. Ooh.
Um,
And if you think about it, this card could not touch water.
Force them, boys.
Go.
Fire Elemental.
3-0. Gooby, what are you doing?
Wow.
oh, okay, I get it now. My bad.
I thought it'd be like a
Nice.
mech because it would get
Okay.
dunked in a bath and then like electrocute everyone. but
Electrocuted. I
Yeah.
thought it was the card.
How many questions do
Iron.
we have total?
We have 21.
Wow.
Okay, so you've still got plenty of time to come back.
Okay.
All right. What card? Oh no, hang on. What neutral minions are given as gold versions if you have a fully leveled shaman? There are 5. I'll give 1 point for each one.
Fours and boys.
Go.
Fire elemental, flame tongue totem.
Neutral
Neutral.
minions.
Oh, neutral minion. Oh, well, Jesus criminy. Oh, what have I done? What have I done?
Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna not take a point off for wrong answers here.
Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah, this is obscure. Oh. If we're can't you
he's probably the only player in the world that has a level 60 shaman.
Yeah, right. My
Yeah.
shaman's like level 30.
There's like
so-
3 of us, I
I
think.
got shaman to level 2 and I was done.
Team Pogdog?
Yep.
Magma Rager?
Yes. Beautiful. 1 point.
Oh.
Would you be Bodyguard?
Yep.
Frostwolf Grunt?
Did someone Google this? Alright. The last 2 were Frostwolf Warlord and Reckless Rocketeer. Everyone's favorite card, Reckless Rocketeer.
Oh. Budget Leroy.
Don't you love getting to like level 54 and you get a golden Magma Rager? You're like, this is going in all my decks now.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is another flavor text. Totem smiths like to use the rarest woods for their totems. There are even rumors of totems made of ironbark protectors.
Fours and boys.
Go.
Is it Totemic Might?
It is not Totemic Might.
Oh. I blew it.
Pogdog?
You get a free shot at the title.
Ancestral
Go
Healing?
ahead, Pogdog. It is not. The answer, my friends, was Flame Tongue Totem.
Oh.
Alright.
Rip Ironbark Protector. They made
Eyeball
totems out of you.
I know, poor Ironbark Protector. How many cards have one of the 4 elements in their title? So we've got Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire.
Does flame count?
No, Fire.
Okay.
Specifically those 4 words. Earth, Wind, Water, or Fire.
Oh, Pogdog? So,
Yep.
like,
These are just Shaman cards.
Fireguard Destroyer?
Yep.
Windspeaker?
Yep.
Fire Elemental?
Yep.
Alakir the Windlord?
Yep.
Is that all of them?
No.
Nope. You're missing 3.
First Shock?
Yep.
And... I'm really trying not to cheat and look at stuff right now. Wind Fury?
I think you might have already said that. But,
I said Wind
I'm not giving points for
didn't
each
I?
one of
Yeah,
these.
he's a Wind Speaker, not Wind Fury.
oh, okay. Okay.
I can't think of the last one.
The last one was Earth Elemental.
Alright.
Oh, classic.
I'm gonna give you 1 point. You got close enough there. Score update, guys. Foursome Boys are on 3. Pogdog on 4. After a bad start, he got to 4. Okay, this is another flavor text.
Oh, God.
If you pay a little extra, you can get it in Candy Apple Red.
Oh god, I know this one.
It's Whirling Zap-O-Matic.
Yeah!
Oof. Clutch.
But you forgot to buzz in, so you get minus 10 points.
Oh, classic.
What Shaman card has a functionally identical Magic the Gathering twin, featuring the same mana cost, name, and effect?
Force and boys.
Yep.
Lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 point to Force and Boys. We will go back to another flavor text.
The best ones.
It's like an ocean of liquid magma in your mouth. Oh no, wait, that's just my diary. Never mind.
Boys and boys. What is Flame Tongue Totem?
It is not Flame Tongue Totem.
What? Okay, then it's the other
Liquid
one.
magma.
Lava burst.
Yeah. Pogdog on 5. Okay.
That was a good one. Forehead.
What card's art uses the same art as that used for the Axe of Cenarius, which is wielded by the legendary Broxigar the Red?
Fours and boys, Rockbiter weapon.
Yep. Yeah, well done.
Oh yeah. The
1
lore.
point.
The lore.
Loving the lore. Alright, this is another flavor text.
Fours and boys.
Yep.
The Siltfin Spirit Walker.
No.
Wait.
It's not the Murloc.
Wait. Oh, I thought you were trying to make a Murloc noise.
No, I'm not. That would
you're
be
too bad at roleplaying, JB. This
Oh.
is rigged.
I actually just had a slight stroke.
Epsilon.
Yep. No, it's not Neptulon.
Oh.
Oh,
I'll
what
give you
a
one more
tease.
go each, because this is a fun card. Blaggra.
Stop.
Oh, is it Windspeaker?
Should I do it again?
I guess.
No.
Okay, Pogdog, you have the final shot at the title, mate.
It's not Windspeaker.
It is not Windspeaker.
Oh.
We've talked about this card already.
Oh my god. Oh.
Chat wins. Captain Planet TV.
Yeah. Don't look at chat. Gooby, don't look.
I'm not giving any points. Your time is up. Do 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 do. It was Bloodlust.
Oh, jeez.
I see now. Okay.
Yeah, it all makes
Perfect.
sense.
I see. I see. Okay, so Wind Fury is a Shaman mechanic, but how many collectible cards include the word Wind Fury that aren't Shaman class cards? And again, I'll just give you 1 point for each card.
Fours and boys.
Go.
The Thrallmar Farseer.
Okay, that's 1 point, and then we'll throw to PogChamp.
Okay.
Pogdog. Yep.
Wind Fury Harpy.
Yep.
Is Voltron considered collectible?
No.
Oh,
He has a different kind of Wind Fury anyway.
yeah, Mega Wind Fury.
It's Mega Wind Fury.
I got this too bad. The
Yeah,
harpy. What was it called? Wind Fury harpy?
you
Is
just
that
say
actually
that?
what it's called?
The
Yeah, I
one
just
that was
said that.
literally just said.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that card.
Are there more
If
than
you
two?
weren't reading chat so much,
They're neutral, right?
you still have 4 more to go. These are
Well,
neutral cards.
do they have to
Neutral
start with
collectible
Wind Fury or can they gain it?
They have the word Wind Fury on the card.
Raging Worgen.
Yep.
Flying Machine.
Yes.
Oof, a classic.
You have 2 more.
Oh my god, what?
What's the one drop called? The flies?
Oh, Young Dragonhawk.
There we go.
Yeah. And the last one, Gooby. Can you do it?
No, I can't.
This one does not have Wind Fury naturally, so I'm going to open it to the floor.
Enhancer Meccano.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh. So how many points was that?
Okay. That was... we are now on a 9 points Force and Boys to 8 points Pogdog.
Oh, get wrecked.
Right. Another flavor text. Nothing beats rock.
Oh, Fours and Boys?
Mhm.
Earth Elemental?
Yep.
Oh, oof. Finally got
10
one.
points. We got there. Okay. What is the name of the 2 bosses that you have to defeat to win the Shaman class challenge in the Blackrock Mountain and Naxxramas adventures?
Are we doing 1 point for each, or do we have to get both?
You can go 1 point for each.
Okay, Fours and Boys.
Since you're way shitter at this game than I expected you to be.
Gar? Or his name's Gar, right?
Yeah, it's Gar.
Gar.
Final answer?
Yes.
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh no.
But it is in that group of bosses.
Oh, that was the. Oh no, I blew it. Oh, that was the warrior one.
I have no idea. I was gonna guess Totemic Might.
He got it! Wow!
Amazing. You got it. Okay, I'll give you a clue. One of the cards is an existing legendary. One of the bosses was an existing legendary.
Executus?
No.
Barongeddon?
Yep.
Oh,
Force and Boys have it.
God.
Remember to buzz in, guys. This is an official quiz podcast.
Sorry, Dad.
Come on, guys. Alright. We're going to do 2 flavor texts in a row here. Okay?
Oh, sweet.
It was just a flesh wound.
That's it?
Yes.
So many things.
Bogdog? Ancestral Spirit?
Yep.
Oh.
Well done. Good Googling skills
What
there,
a
Gooby.
player.
I didn't even Google that.
Alrighty. Flavor text fun. An umbrella won't be effective, I'm afraid.
An umbrella won't be enough, I'm afraid.
Oh, Force and Boys.
Yep.
Lightning Storm.
Well done.
Oof. What an answer.
We are 12 to Foursome Boys, 9 to Pogdog. We have 4-ish questions to go. Okay, so this is another Who Am I? I am a card found in World of Warcraft lore and fought against the colossal titans before being defeated. I was
Oh.
originally supposed to have my full name and title on my Hearthstone card, but it didn't fit.
Force and
Bogdog?
Boys.
Foursome Boys got in first.
Neptulon.
Yes. Well done.
It's close. I was gonna
Had
say
so many more
Ragnaros,
clues.
but-
You were much better at that than I thought.
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to thank Forsen for always role-playing on stream and just reading the flavor texts aloud. I think it's what's allowed me to get all these questions.
Mhm.
Look, you're not making a victory speech yet, alright?
How many questions? do we have left?
We have, hang on, let me just count. 1, 2,
2.
3. 3.
Oh, okay. So, okay,
So you can still not win.
perfect.
Don't worry, we'll go
I'm going to
all in
start
on the
taking a
last
point off
one.
Foursome Boys for
Just
wrong
keep
answers
going.
to make it interesting. Okay, so what card is the reward for getting Shaman to level 10?
Hog
Go.
Flame Tongue Totem?
No. It is Flamey.
Fire Elemental? Or wait,
Yes. Alright, you can have that one.
never mind.
We're all rooting for the underdog here. Let's do it.
Alright.
It's one only gets 2 anyway.
It's charity. Fours and Boys charity,
That's right,
you know.
that's right. Okay, this is another flavor text. This would be real handy if your enemy was made of rock.
Forsen Boys.
Go.
Rock Biter Weapon.
Hey. Good job.
You can always trust Blizzard with the forehead jokes.
So
I
smart.
know, they're great. As a dad, I appreciate those jokes. I approve this message. Alright, one more flavor text. Chocolate lava cake is shockingly delicious.
Hog Dog?
Go.
Lava Shock?
Oh,
Yes, well done. Alright, curiously, we have Forsen Boys on 14 points and Pogdog on 11. But in a crazy twist of random happenstance, the last question is worth 10 points. So
That's
anyone
alright.
can win.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Okay, listen carefully. It is turn 10. I have 10 mana. I cast Lightning Bolt, Crackle, Earth Shock, Totemic Might, Feral Spirit, Forked Lightning, and Reincarnate. How much mana do I have to spend next turn?
Fog Dog.
Go.
Was it 4?
It is 4.
Oh,
It is 4.
wow.
The Shaman Champ comes
Rigged.
from behind
Rigged.
We just got wrecked.
to rip it out under the grasp of Foursome Boys. We all expected
it.
that to happen. Let's be honest.
Can't Google that one.
Well, we got 2v1,
Well played,
so
guys. Well played.
that's about what I expected.
I think the real winner here is Twitch chat and Hearthstone community in general.
Mm-hmm.
And me.
Yeah, and Gooby. Mostly Gooby.
But also Team Pogdog.
All right.
Alright, that was fun. What do we want to talk about next? There's this little website that we like to call tempostorm.com. There have been a few articles posted on there this week. I didn't write one myself, but one of the ones that I thought was really good, Captain Planet TV, shout out to you. We enjoyed the, it was talking about 5-drops and their use, and basically he was talking about how the 5-drop slot is really important at the moment because it's the last, it's sort of the last wall before you can't play more than 2 in a turn. 2 5-drops in a turn, so it's becoming really crowded at the moment. There are a lot of options for 5-drops. Yeah, did you guys read it? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with him. The 5-drop slot is like super bloated right now. It gets so many good things, but it's kind of weird how because of the aggro nature of Hearthstone lately, it's just like it dominated by Sludge Belcher. I'll always save one 5-drop slot for Loatheb. I have so much respect for Loatheb. It's won me so many games. But yeah, I mean, Sludge Belcher Loatheb is basically what it is for me.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
I think just
Yeah,
with the
there's a lot
nature.
good. Oh, go ahead.
I think just with the nature of 5-drops, it's something that you can cast early enough where it can still be good against aggro decks, but it's good against mid-range and control decks, and it's also find a dump. If it's like a top deck, you're happy to top deck a 5-drop rather than something lower. So just by the nature of that, 5-drops are always going to be really good, and you're going to want to play like the very best ones. And you have like you guys said, the 3 really good neutral ones that you could play with 2 double Sludge Belcher and then Loatheb. So it's pretty crowded in that respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good 5-mana cards right now, like way too many compared to like other slots. Like you have Azure Drake, Sludge Belcher, Loatheb, Bomb Lobber, it's an honorable mention, I guess, Healbot. And then like class cards like Quartermaster, amazing. What else is in there? Skulker now. Like there's just a lot of 5-mana cards right now compared to like other mana slots, so it's like one of the hardest places to fit cards in at the moment. And it's a really crucial turn as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hearthstone is a 5-turn format. By that I mean like if Face Hunter wins by turn 5, so like that's the fundamental turn where like you really need to be playing. You're starting to like ramp into these bigger guys, and so your 5-drops are really important because they're that doorway into your late game. And if you don't set up properly, then you end up getting screwed over.
I'm inclined to agree.
Great, excellent, concurring all round. Gooby, you introduced a new series that you're going to be doing, a bi-weekly series, the Tournament Snapshot. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
it's similar to the meta snapshot, except it's basically I go over like 3 or 4 tournaments that happened in like the last week or 2, and I gather all like the deck statistics and stuff like that, and just write down how many decks are used in what lineups so far. We're looking to improve it for the following week that we're going to be doing this again. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to make this better, just let us know. I can put the link in chat as well. But yeah, it's just basically deck statistics. Goes over who won what tournaments, who got what place in what tournaments, what decks they used, and it even shows some of the deck lists from like the winners and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really useful if, like you said, the meta snapshot is designed to sort of help you out on ladder. I think this is going to be developed for people to analyze their tournament play and start getting their thinking organized around what they bring to tournaments and that kind of thing. If I'm correct. And it's also obviously just really useful to see what that, because, a tournament is its own meta, so it's really useful to see what is developing away from the ladder and what the pros are really think is good at the moment.
It is. It's super cool to see stuff how totally different it can be from what you're playing on the ladder. It's like, oh, Shaman's dominating this tournament. What? Because I haven't seen a single Shaman on the ladder. So.
Well, that'll never happen, so we won't have to say that. That's good.
Let's hope not.
Quick shout out, if we are looking for more writers at tempostorm.com. If you would like to write for us, please email editor@tempostorm.com. Include your resume and a sample of your writing. You get paid for your work, you get to produce weekly content, and hang out with cool people like us.
Yep.
Sometimes reynad drops by too.
What affiliation does he have with us, though?
Don't know.
He gives us money. I think that's about it.
I ask him for money and he just gives it to me. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so there was some drama this week, guys. Juicy drama. What do we want to start on? There was, perhaps I was watching the PGL Spring Tavern Tales, if anyone else was. There were some good things happening there. I think one of the setups was that it was two people sitting across from each other, like literally a meter away from each other. Often they tend to put them in different rooms or, face them away from each other for, I think, the reason that we saw. Does anyone else want to go over that? Because I didn't see it myself.
Yeah, so Alish was playing against Lothar, and he had some bad RNG. He had a little bit of, actually earlier he was playing the same deck, Patron Warrior. He had some bad RNG, but then he moved on with it. He was visibly angry, but he moved on. And then again, he had a turn where he basically set up a huge board, almost had lethal, and then his opponent's boombots killed his Frothing Berserker, and that made him miss lethal. And while he was busy being really angry about that, he roped, and he couldn't attack with Dr. Boom because he didn't return to the game fast enough from grabbing his headphones and being med. So and then he got even angrier, and Lothar just thought it was hilarious. It was obviously trying to hide his laughter, but he ended up chortling a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously Alish saw, and then they didn't shake hands after the match because Alish was really angry about that.
And it wouldn't have been that bad, but then afterwards, Alish went on to Twitter and he's like, man, Hearthstone sucks. Of course I'm not going to shake his hand. He was BMing me, da-da-da-da-da. Which obviously, then he started seeing the Twitter links in the Twitch chat fly, and then sparks started flying, and the rest is history.
But okay, so number one, you're getting upset at the RNG that is inherent to the game. It's a big part of the game. He would have known when he made that play that there was a risk that it was not going to come off, and it didn't. And I don't even know what the percentages are, but it was definitely well within the realm of possibility. And then he just flipped out. And then I don't think it's BM to laugh at that.
Yeah.
I was laughing myself.
I mean, Lothar was getting lucky. I think it was either the game I think that game or the game before it, he got Dr. Boom, and Lothar's like, I have no way to answer it. And then, lo and behold, he top decks Big Game Hunter. Obviously, that's going to make you frustrated. There's a lot of little things that... I definitely, in that situation, I would have been pissed. I don't think I would have, freaked out and not shook his hand, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. But it's high stress. You're in a tournament being watched by tons of people, and you know that all people are going to do are mock you for getting bad RNG. That's something out of your control. Understandably, the guy's going to get frustrated, but I think there were better ways.
No, I understand. I think I've played a fair bit of sports, and if you don't shake your opponent's hand at the end of the game, that is just a dick move.
Oh, yeah.
Be as salty as you want, but shake his hand for God's sake.
Exactly.
The guy, he had a perfectly reasonable reaction, I think, to what was going on in front of him. He didn't, mutter anything under his breath, as far as I could tell. He wasn't talking to him. Was he emoting? I didn't even see.
He emoted the next game, but not during the bad RNG.
Right. So he was just playing normally, and then once your opponent's on tilt, and it's clearly affecting his game, which it was, I don't blame Lothar at all for pushing that advantage.
Yeah, They also, yeah, the casters were talking a lot about how BMing your opponent can actually have like huge psychological advantages and physically just like tilt them so hard, and then they start making bad decisions, etc. And I never really thought of that kind of a social aspect of tournaments, which really can only happen in things like LANs. Obviously, emoting and stuff over the internet will have all close to the same effects, but you won't get to see it displayed in front of you.
Before we talk a little bit more about that, I just like to offer a little bit of a flip side. This is like Alish is just like breaking out in the professional scene. He's obviously a very high stress situation. Also, he's not the only one to not shake hands. The tweet might have put it a little bit over the top, but when Zigso lost to Alish actually with bad RNG, he didn't shake hands as well. And there's like a lot of other players that sometimes like get pretty frustrated, understandably, after matches. So it's not like an exclusive scandal just to him. Although the Twitter thing and like the also, I think he was a little bit more mad at himself than just Lothar because like it wasn't the RNG that pissed him off. I think it was the fact that he missed attacking because of the rope and because he was angry at the RNG. So I think that added to it. So I don't think he was like super angry at Lothar as much as just the situation in general.
Gooby, what do you think?
Just some people getting salty over card games. Nothing too new. It's
It
always going to
happens.
keep happening. I don't really think anything of it. People are always going to get set up over, stupid little things like this. I mean, I guess it's kind of important for them, but it's a game.
Yeah. I guess obviously we work for the Salt Lord, so none of us have a problem with Salt. I think it's more just like, to me, it was the bad sportsmanship of not shaking the hand that really sort of tarnished him in my eyes.
But I mean, yeah, again, at the end of the day, he didn't shake his hand. It's not the end of the world. But it spiced things up, that's for sure.
Yeah, what about any other players, any other games? I know I saw Stanislav Sivka playing, who is an ex-Magic the Gathering player, or I assume he still plays, but
Yeah, he still plays
very...
in Pro Tours and stuff.
Right, okay, so he's doing both at the same time. What a legend. He was a very good Magic the Gathering player, and I saw him play a couple of games, and he was playing very well. He was quite funny, because I was watching... and Twitch chat was going off because he takes forever to take his turn. He takes the full 90 seconds every single time. He's a bit of a weird dude. Takes his shoes off to play, that kind of thing. Anyway, Twitch chat was complaining about how long it took him to take his turn, and I was just thinking back to the last time I saw him play Magic the Gathering, and he is famous for piloting a deck called Eggs in the format Modern, and that deck takes roughly 20 minutes to win on its win turn. So it usually wins on turn 4, and the deck is so full of like it just cantrips through your whole deck, and you have to cast the same spell roughly like 100 times, and so you end up like it takes 20 minutes literally to win. So it was kind of funny for me to just see people complaining about how long he took, because I was like, you guys do not know shit. We are posting GIFs. Great. Anything else from that tournament? Was it fun?
Yeah, I think Force's casting is really good.
Yeah,
obviously there was the sort of meme of Force and Best Caster. There's the YouTube video if you guys want to check that out, where it just like remixes over him and like has pictures of dank memes, and like he's just saying Fairy Dragon over and over again in his accent. But like I think he's actually a really good caster. I mean, everybody loves him. He goes really into depth while also like making light of the situation. So I think that was really great about the tournament.
Yeah, it was good. The analysis in that tournament was really, really good. Lothar, I watched mostly Lothar's games just because that's what was on at the time. And that guy gets so lucky. He got very lucky, like these very pivotal card or game-turning cards right when he needed them off the top of his deck. And it kind of takes me back to when Life Coach was winning a lot, and everyone's like, how come you're just like winning all the time? He's like, I just got more lucky, you know? And I'm a pretty strong believer that Hearthstone isn't all comes down to luck, but when you see a lot of stuff like that, a series just so pivotally turned by these incredibly clutch top decks, it does... I'm sure it's frustrating for the other guy. Me, I don't mind. It's more exciting for me as a viewer, but just food for thought.
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Gooby, what do you think about RNG in this game?
Yeah, there's a lot of it with the last, with GVG and this expansion. I guess there's a little bit of RNG, but I don't think there's as much as people complain about. Like, you have to get over it, I guess. I guess you should play like towards RNG if you have to, like try and figure out the best mathematical outcome. Like if you're playing with piloted shredder, I think you should like always pop it first. Sometimes you don't even see people do that, then complain about their RNG from it when they should be popping it first. Generally, sometimes you should play the minion first in case like Nubwar, Weblord or whatever comes out. If you're like playing Lothar,
or the Mana Wraith thing,
or Mana Wraith, yeah, stuff like that. So,
but
I don't know.
yeah. So there's the way that piloted shredder is there's two that might prevent you from playing the creature, but then one that completely destroys it.
And one that
Right,
sort of
and if you
destroys it
do
in
get
cheap.
Doomsayer, it does give you board initiative anyway because your opponent can't play any minions. So sometimes it's not even that bad to get Doomsayer. So it's still okay to pop it first.
Do you think it's healthy for things like Doomsayer to be able to be popped out from piloted shredder?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
That's
It's like
cool.
a 2% chance, right? Or 1.5%, I think, is the other
1 in
actual stats.
67, 62, something like that.
Cool. Yeah, so it's not like it's not significant, but playing around it is obviously rewarded. I don't think RNG is going away. If we want to answer the question, it's been pretty clear to me that Blizzard are pushing the RNG aspect. It makes games exciting. It makes them fun to watch. It can make them not fun to play. I totally agree with that. But I think as a game that seems to me designed perfectly for spectators, I think it's it's going to stay. It's got its place. As long as like every card is not RNG, then I'm fine with it. And I think they've got a good balance at the moment.
Definitely.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about emoting. What do we think about BMing in Hearthstone? Like, is it BM to emote? I was playing the other day, and Twitch chat was telling me that like when I win, I would win and then immediately emote well played because in my opinion it's nice to say well played at the end of the game, and my chat was telling me that that's BM.
I don't think that's BM. I think for the most part it's just like it's a move of sincerity. Like, okay, this was a fun game, good game. But the thing that I think is BM is when you say well played because like someone's killing you and they say thank you. I'm like, okay, come on, like just reciprocate the well played. You don't need to be all self-righteous about it. But then it comes down to how you interpret this thing, how you interpret.
Yeah, it could be saying thank you because you told them that they played well.
Yeah, exactly. So because they're so ambiguous, it leaves a lot of room for. I think players are always going to think that the opponent's trying to BM them no matter what they say. They can say well played and they're like, oh, this guy's an asshole. But it just comes down to your individual perspective on emotes.
I use emotes as a psychological warfare. That's the only reason I hit legend. So like, whenever you have a really good turn, you always say oops at the end of it, so they think you had a better play or you messed up somehow. When you have a good, you can also threaten them. Whenever I play Freeze Mage or Fatigue Mage, if they play like a Shao or Mini Bot on turn 1, I just threaten them and pretend to like cover over my hand over my Doomsayer and pretend I can't play it because it's Mech Warper that's just gonna die and pretend I'm like Mech Mage. And there's just so many things you could do with emotes. I think it adds a lot of fun to the game. I did write an article on this for templestone.com, Become Legendary, if you guys want to check that out. But I really think that emotes are awesome, and Fortson has a great quote that the minute you squelch your opponent is the minute you lose, so I think that's something to consider.
Yeah, when I was in ESL, I actually BM'd some of my opponents, and it helped out a lot because they misplayed the next games. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, there's definitely that whole psychological warfare thing. Something I've noticed more is the beauty of the greetings emote. It has so many implications. Every time, like a top deck for the last piece of my Force Savage combo, I'm like greetings, and then it just feels good. Something so good.
My greetings.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it is in the game for a reason, and I think it's perfectly acceptable to do whatever the fuck you want with emotes. Like, they're there for a reason. They're there to be used, and if your opponent gets like tilted because of it, then that's their problem and not yours.
Yeah.
So what is BM then? What would you consider BM?
Like in tournaments,
roping when you have lethal is the worst thing ever on
yeah,
ladder.
God.
There's just no point. It's
And
just a huge waste of time.
Roping
in
every
tournaments when you
turn
get these
for
people
no reason.
who like the players will like spam greetings or something. I'm just like, come on, like do one, but now you're being tasteless when you just sit there and spam like well played, because in the custom matches you can do it however often you want. That's like big time BM in my eyes. But yeah,
Should
roping
people
one
be
really
punished
feels
for
annoying.
BMing in like tournaments and stuff? Because I
Nope.
remember at BlizzCon when Firebat played against D2, he was playing like Miracle Rogue and like he had lethal on board. And he had like 15 cards left in his deck, so he just decided to draw his entire deck with gadgets in.
Yeah.
Just because.
I think that's good, like, showmanship, but even if people think differently, like, the Reddit threads, like, calling people out on being horrible people, I think is punishment enough.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I'd say.
That's weird because Reddit doesn't usually jump to conclusions.
It never. If you compare it to other esports, like things like Dota and League of Legends, like in League of Legends, they don't even show the alt chat, which I don't think they do alt chat when they play anyway. But if there was BMing, I think it would like Riot because of how Riot is. It would be like, hey, stop doing that. You're fined $1,000. But
The other thing is, like, you can't, because they're so ambiguous, you can't prove that it's BM until,
Exactly.
like, there's context behind it. So, like, I was playing a priest player the other day, and I was druid or whatever, I was winning on board, like, substantially, and, he emoted sorry, like, twice, and then light bombs me, which completely wipes my board, and, I always forget that's a card, and, then we actually ended up playing each other the exact next game on ladder, and he added me, and I was prepared for like some like salty wanker, but he ended up being really nice and was just like, I actually was sorry when I light bombed you. You know, I had the perfect card for the perfect situation, and I kind of felt sorry for you, man.
I kind of wish people would, when they add you, they'd be more BM. Like honestly, I've only had good experiences. I've had this guy's like, hey, it was a mirror match from mid-range paladin like a long time ago. He's like, hey, your deck was clearly better than mine. Why? Can you tell me why? And I suck, so I was like, I can kind of direct you towards why, but I can't specifically tell you why. And then yeah.
Every time someone adds me on ladder, they just want to let me know that they've had sex with my mom or that I'm a homosexual. Usually, that's about it.
I'm just stating facts.
Is that
really?
I found out I was a homosexual through Hearthstone too. It's really weird. It's good
Every
to find
time
out stuff
someone-
about yourself, though.
Every time someone adds me, it's them, like, wanting an autograph because they're a sub to my 10-viewer stream, and they're like, oh my god, I'm such a huge fan. So I usually accept people and then delete them because my friends list is so full of, like, everyone famous and beautiful.
Super hot girls mostly.
Yeah, mostly them, but, you
Yeah.
know, like, I make a little bit of room for, like, reynad.
Mm-hmm. Let them bask in your shadow.
That wasn't even a humble brag. That was just a brag.
I mean, you know, he's got a lot to brag about. He's a cool dude.
Right, don't enable him, please. Alright, I thought we had some people asking last week what our background is. They wanted to know a little bit about us. I was interested to know what other games you guys play other than Hearthstone. Let's have a quick interlude.
Oh my gosh. So, basically, I consider myself more of like a variety gamer. I play a lot of games. Hearthstone is different because I've really gone into Hearthstone a lot compared to these other games. But I play everything. Recently, I've been playing Hotline Miami. That game is freaking so good. Have you guys heard of it at all?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, Hotline Miami 1 and 2 are, I beat them both in one sitting each. They were that good. Like, literally plastered me to the computer for 6 hours. They are top-down, basically,
Brag
Twitch.
Central.
Oh, am I lagging?
No, Brag
No.
Central.
Oh,
Sorry.
Brag Central. Oh, well, no, I mean, obviously, I suck at the game, but it's like a 4-hour game. I took 6 hours, so it's like, you factor that stuff in. But,
Right.
it's like, it's a top-down, hyper-violent pixel shooter, so basically, like, one of its trademark is its weird stereo sort of view type, where you have, like, old VCR effects going through while you're playing. You have these very hyper-centralized colors, so it looks like you're on LSD all the time. And then it's super violent, but because it's pixelated, you can get the hint of the violence, but it's not so realistic that it makes you sick. And it's very ambiguous storytelling. It really keeps me on edge because I love not being ham-fisted to the story. Like games that have just like this big red fuck me button and you just push that button and that's the story. I hate that. And Hotline Miami really makes you work to figure out the story. The second one in particular basically takes everything the first one did and does it infinitely better. It's so fun. I really recommend you check that game out. It's absolutely fantastic.
What other games do people play?
I go for it, Gooby.
I played League of Legends for a while. Before that, mostly just console games. Never really gotten like playing Steam games and downloading stuff online, stuff like that. Played like PlayStation 2 a lot. But yeah, after like PlayStation 2, I just mostly played a lot of online games, and then became a huge fan of League of Legends. Like I said, played that a lot, and then started playing Hearthstone. I don't really play anything else right now. That's about it. Oh, I play Heroes of the Storm, but not that much.
Yeah, I just got a key for that actually the other day, so I'm gonna check that out. I've heard it's quite good, polished as usual.
Very.
Right.
Yeah, go.
I played a lot of competitive like Magic: The Gathering and chess. I've never been super like high up there in Magic, but I've cashed a couple SCG opens that did decently well at a GP. I also like have been playing PC games for a really long time, since I was like 6 years old, basically. Started with like Warcraft 2, played a lot of Warcraft 3, got into Dota from that, got into League from that. Yeah, I mean, I've like played a lot of PC games, and then I do like strategy games in general. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think chess was what introduced me to Magic, which is what introduced me to Hearthstone. So I had a fairly similar trajectory. I play a fair bit of Dota 2, but I do not have the APM. These old man hands have way too much arthritis.
Yeah, you're like level 112, aren't you? Or something ridiculous. That
I've played
is
a lot,
insane.
but just not well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm like level 52. I'm like 3.5k or something. Oh yeah, I played with you, duh.
Right. Yeah, I love Dota 2, and I go back to it. That's actually my when I go on tilt in Hearthstone, I go off and play a game of Dota 2.
Yep.
All right, so maybe we'll open up to the floor. We do this at the end of every podcast. If Twitch would like to ask us some questions, I have